Hello everyone, I'm Jonathan, and today I will be going over the competitive DECA writing events. In this video, there will be 4 main sections, and without further ado, let's get started. As of now, the DECA written events include business operations research, project management, entrepreneurship, and integrated marketing campaign events. We won't be going in depth into any of these events in specific during this video. However, we will address these events later on. If any of these events particularly intrigue you as of now, feel free to check out the 2020-2021 DECA guide that we will link below. The first one is going to be the written paper. Like the written event suggests, there is a paper that you must submit, which is either 10 or 20 pages, depending on the event that you're participating in. And the second component is the presentation, where you essentially make the information in your written paper a little bit more bite-sized and present it to a judge. Both of these are based off of specific rubrics that you'll see in the DECA guide, and you can get additional information there. Specifically on the writing portion of the event, in this portion you want to be very, very detailed and include very in-depth explanations of your plan, whether it's for a business or marketing plan, whatever your event is based off of. This means you want specific financial and market analyses, you want things like more in-depth consumer analysis, and also you want to have sufficient sources that can back up all your claims, whether it's about the market or your specific strategy that you're using to solve the issue presented by your event. The presentation is essentially expected to be a more simplified version of the written paper that you just submitted. The reason why is because you're presenting to a judge who likely does not have extensive knowledge on the subjects that you are speaking about. The integrated marketing campaign events are specifically unique in that they have a third component that you will be graded on, and this can be elaborated on in the other video if you check it out. This third component is a multiple choice exam, and Claire actually talks a lot about this. You can check out the other video about roleplay events and skips particularly to that section. So judges generally look for a lot of different things, and that's because every event has different specifications. However, there are 2 things that regardless of what event you're competing in, you really want to have. The first one is good presentation skills, because regardless of the fact that the rubric does not include a ton of points specifically dedicated to how you present, obviously when you present better, the judge understands better, and then they'll fill out the rest of the rubric accordingly. The second part is focusing your presentation on the rubric. Essentially, when the rubric tells you you want to have certain requirements and you want to focus on certain subjects, you should do that, and that way, when the judge is grading you, they will be able to mark you off and give you those points that you deserve. Preparing for events is actually very, very straightforward. The first thing is obviously the written portion, so you want to make sure you prepare the paper very early, and then have people look at it, make changes accordingly based on their suggestions, and you want all this to happen at least a few weeks before the deadline. So last year, the deadline for submission of the written portion was around mid-February, so you want to make sure that you have everything done hopefully by sometime in January, and then you make changes up to that date rather than completing it right before it's due. If you are working in a group though, you want to make sure that you delegate different sections to different people and keep each other accountable. Make sure everything is done by a set date that is far before the deadline. You don't want to cut it close like I did last year. So in terms of the presentations, it's very similar. You want to make sure that you delegate and make sure that you complete this far ahead of time. That way you have time to practice, and you want to make sure that, especially if you have a group, you rehearse it many times with all of your members. And then on top of this, you want to make sure that you rehearse it with different people watching, maybe even give them the rubric, make sure that you are meeting the requirements, and that way you will definitely succeed at SEDC and then hopefully ICDC as well. One last thing that you should try to keep in mind throughout the entire preparation process is that if you center your entire project around a creative solution, the judge will be more inclined to give you more points, specifically because you're setting yourselves apart from the rest of the people. So whether this means a unique business or an innovative marketing solution, you should always try to set yourselves apart by being unique. that concludes this video. Hopefully you better understand how written events in DECA work. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact us at the email that we sent you this video in. Thank you.